But first, we're going to head south for just a minute. By every objective measure, cases, deaths, hospitalizations, the state of Florida has handled the coronavirus much more effectively than states of the North, specifically New York and New Jersey. And they've done it without destroying every small business in the state. And that's why those states are emptying out and moving to Florida. Florida, by the way, is leading New York in vaccine distribution as well. And at the same time, as we just noted, people are leaving those two states and moving to the state of Florida, which, by the way, is controlled by a Republican. And maybe that's why CNN is enraged by all of this. They don't want you to know that Chris Cuomo's brother is running New York, so instead they attack the state of Florida. And that's why this week on Monday, which would be, let's see, yesterday, one of CNN's activists, posing as a reporter, went after the governor of Florida to give this little speech. You'll hear directly from the governor of Florida in just a minute. But first, Fox Tampa Bay chief political reporter Craig Patrick is following this exchange for us and the broader story. He joins us tonight. Hey, Craig.
Hi there, Tucker. How are you?
Great. Thank you. So the state of Florida does seem like it's been the focus of a lot of media hostility recently. Have you noticed that?
Well, certainly the governor's faced a lot of tough questions. With respect to the most recent controversies, there have been long waits in Florida for vaccines. That's true. There have been phone lines that have been overwhelmed and people frustrated and complaining. We're hearing a lot of that. But one of the biggest reasons for that is that the governor has placed a priority on moving all senior citizens 65 and over to the front of the line. There are 4.3 million seniors in the state of Florida. A byproduct of doing that will, in fact, be long waits at the beginning stages of distributing vaccines. But as the governor sees it, he's saying, look, the choice is, say, inoculating someone in their 20s versus someone who is a senior citizen. He's looking at case fatality rates, those more likely to become seriously ill or in some cases die. And he's thinking in the interest of saving lives, that's the direction he's going to go. And there also, yes, has been controversy. A lot of us have seen the video of senior citizens camped out overnight outside of a hospital. But the governor has also said we're in the early stages and he is monitoring how well each hospital is doing and that future shipments of vaccines, the doses, will wind up going to the hospitals that do the better job of distributing those vaccines.
Do you have tape of the exchange between the governor and the CNN reporter today? Ready to roll? I don't know if we have it. Okay. I don't know. I want to roll it right now for our audience just to get some sense of the politics that have been intruded on this. Here's what happened. Watch this.
What has gone wrong with the rollout of the vaccine that we've seen phone lines jammed, websites crashing?
There's a lot of demand. I think at the end of the day, excuse me.
If I could finish my question.
You just said what has gone wrong, so I'm answering the question.
If I could complete the question, though.
So you're going to give a speech or are you going to ask a question?
We've seen websites crash and also senior citizens waiting overnight for the vaccine.
Where was that at?
We've seen it in Duval, Broward, Orange, and Lee.
Why was there a big line? Did you investigate why?
Could you tell us why?
Because we distributed vaccine to hospitals, and the hospital said, first come, first serve. If you show up, we'll do it.
Yeah, Tucker, the governor is he's recognizing that there are issues. But you know what? There are issues all across the country, and the governor keeps saying he's making adjustments. He made adjustments today by moving doses to public supermarkets to get it more available to people where they live. The same goes for selecting churches, converting testing centers into vaccination centers. It takes steps in time. Among other things, he doesn't know the precise amounts that are coming in week by week until just a few days before they arrive.
Craig, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're now joined by the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Governor, thanks so much for coming on. I almost never provide a forum for politicians to defend themselves or defend them, but I just can't help but notice that as the entire Northeast moves to your state and as the numbers become clear that Florida has managed this pandemic far better than any Northeastern state, that you're coming under all this media criticism. Why do you think that is?
Well, Tucker, look, I am totally willing to wear the criticism of a badge of honor if it means that my state has a state in which every parent has a right to send their kid to in-person instruction. everybody has a right to work and a right to pursue their vocations. Every business has a right to operate. And we've done that. We've trusted people. And as you mentioned, our COVID mortality is less than the national average per capita. And on the vaccine front, we were the first state in the country to begin vaccinating citizens, residents of long-term care facilities. And we were the first state in the country to start vaccinating our broader over 65 population. And so we're very proud of leading those efforts, and I think you're going to continue to see a lot of good things. Your guest before mentioned we're partnering with supermarkets even and really papering this across the state. So I'm happy for the criticism because you know what? I don't seek validation by the media. What I seek is supporting the citizens of my state, and I can tell you, as this pandemic has worn on, the number of times someone has come up to me with tears in their eyes saying, if it wasn't for you, my kid would not be in school and I would not have my job. Thank you. That is why I'm in this job.
I mean, just being honest here, how many huge department stores were burned down in the state of Florida during the BLM riots? How many cities do you have in Florida that are empty husks, that are ghost towns, shells, like, say, Camden, New Jersey, or 5 other cities in New Jersey? Do you have a lot of that in the state of Florida?
No, we are doing very well economically. Obviously, our tourism industry has gotten hit. That's recovering. Home sales are up, I think, 22% year over year. People have opportunities in Florida. They're seeing that. They're coming here for greener pastures. And yes, we take law and order very seriously. We want to protect our citizens' safety, and we're obviously not going to tolerate a Minneapolis-type situation. When that was going on this summer, I had the National Guard on standby. We were working with our localities in the state of Florida, and you didn't hear what you saw there.
Do you think you'd get fair treatment from CNN if your brother had a primetime show on that channel?
Well, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas. But, I think it's pretty clear some of these networks, obviously, they have agendas. They're doing narratives. They're not trying to report facts anymore. It's all about spinning whatever narrative they think can get ratings. And that's just the reality of the situation. So it doesn't impact me. We're going to continue keeping our eye on the ball and working as hard as we can to deliver results.
I mean, the truth is always in the results. It's not in what people say, it's in what they do. So give us a snapshot of the inflow into Florida from other states in this country recently.
Well, I can tell you, we weren't going to have the final numbers for 2020 yet for another few weeks. But if you look at new home builds, new home starts, if you look at home sales, prices going up, I mean, it's pretty clear that people are viewing Florida as a landing pad. And Tucker, it's interesting, as this went on, I would encounter people, particularly in September, that would move from parts of the country, say, look, they closed our schools. I want your schools are open. I'm going to come here because you guys are doing it right. So I think there's been a variety of factors. Taxes has been one thing, Tucker, but I really do think these lockdowns have driven some people to Florida who just had enough with these draconian, ineffective restrictions.
They think you're going to be the Republican nominee. That's why they're attacking you. I'm not going to ask you to respond to that. I know it's an uncomfortable observation, but I think that's what's really going on.
Well, Tucker, I can tell you I'm pretty confident I'll be the governor nominee in 2022 here in Florida. So, we look forward to running that race.
Good to see you tonight. Thank you.
Thanks.